Could you introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name?
Yeah, it's John Heywood Jr., Heywood.
And sir, how old are you?
52 years old.
And where do you live?
Salisbury, Mass.
How long have you lived in Salisbury, sir?
Overall, I'd say about 35 years on and off.
Okay, born there?
I was born there, then I moved away for a little bit, and now I'm back.
Came back. All right, and we don't need your exact address, but where in Salisbury do you live, sir?
Salisbury Beach.
Okay. And do you work, sir?
Yes, I do.
What do you do for work?
Sheet metal worker.
Okay. How long have you been doing that?
31 years.
All right. Now, sir, I want to take you back to November of 2022, and really even before that. Did you know an individual named Leroy Fowler Sr., sometimes referred to as Big Leroy?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you know Mr. Fowler?
He is my first cousin on my father's side.
Okay. And just for purposes of the questions I'm going to ask you today, there's been some discussion in the trial about his son, Leroy Fowler, as well as his father, also Leroy Fowler, as I mentioned. All the questions I'm asking you today apply to Leroy Fowler Sr., who's about your age.
It's actually Leroy Fowler Jr.
Sorry. Exactly. That's why I made that little announcement. So we're talking about Leroy Fowler Jr., Big Leroy.
Yeah. All
right. So you said that Mr. Fowler was your first cousin?
Yes.
So you guys pretty close in age, so grew up together?
He was about 6, 7 years older than me.
Okay.
As a child, elementary school type, we were kind of close as a family. As we grew older, not so much.
Okay. In the last couple of years of his life, sir, how often would you see Mr. Fowler?
In the summertime, once to twice a month. Not really at all through the winter.
Okay. And were these sort of planned meetings or planned get-togethers, or was just
No.
what were the circumstances under which you would sometimes see
We
Mr.
both
Fowler?
lived on Salisbury Beach, so if I went to a bar or a restaurant, I would usually see him there.
Okay. And did you know a woman named Judy Church?
Yes, I did.
How did you meet Miss Church?
She was dating Leroy.
Okay. And how long had you known Miss Church as of 2022, sir? Give or take.
I'm going to guess since they first got together, so maybe 8 years or so.
Okay. And when you would see Mr. Fowler out and about on Salisbury Beach, would you see Miss Church as well?
Yes, usually.
Okay. And did you ever did you see her by herself as opposed to with Mr.
A couple
Church?
times.
How was your relationship with Mr. Fowler, sir?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Miss Church?
Same.
All right.
No issues.
No issues. All right. Now, you said that these meetings that you've described for us were generally just happenstance. You just happened to be in the same bar, the same part of the beach as Mr. Church, excuse me, Miss Church or Mr. Fowler?
Yep.
Did you have any planned meetups that you guys ever
No,
did?
never.
No. Okay. Now, sir, I want to draw your attention specifically to the summer of 2022. Now, during the summer, and I know you don't remember the exact date, did you have occasion to run into Mr. Fowler and Miss Church at one of the bars on Salisbury Beach?
Yes, I did.
What bar was that?
Uncle Eddie's?
Okay. And what kind of a establishment, it's a bar, but what kind of an establishment is Uncle Eddie's?
It's considered a dive bar.
Okay. And popular?
Very.
Okay. And did you on one of those one day in the summer of 2022 run into both Mr. Fowler and Miss Church in Uncle Eddie's?
Yes.
Okay. Was it a planned meetup?
No, it's not.
Just happened to be in there at the same time?
Yep.
Okay. And did you have a conversation, interact socially with them while they were in the bar?
Yes. When I saw them, we usually interacted.
Okay. Do you remember what day of the week it was?
It was either a Saturday or a Sunday. I don't.
And how do you remember that?
Because I'm usually away in the summertime. I live up in the mountains for the most part.
Okay.
But I happened to be home that weekend.
Okay. And was it crowded?
Very.
All right. Now, at some point during your interactions with Mr. Fowler and Miss Church that day, did the subject of cheating on a partner or spouse come up?
Yes.
Okay. And what was Miss Church's comment about that sort of activity?
She said, if he ever cheats on me, I will poison him.
Okay. All right. And did the conversation just kind of continue on from there?
Yeah, there was a little more talk afterwards.
Okay. And then, how much longer did you spend socializing with them that day?
If I had to guess the total conversation through the whole time they were there, maybe 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay.
Who is this witness?
I do, Judge.
Mr. Scully?
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, sir.
Hello.
My name is Liam Scully. I represent Judy Church.
Okay.
You and I have never spoken or met, right?
No.
Okay. So, you just testified on direct examination that you were present in a bar with Judy and Leroy. You had a good relationship with both of them, right?
Yes.
And the subject of cheating came up, right?
Yes.
And Judy said something like, if he ever cheats on me, I will poison him, right? And Leroy, according to a statement you made previously, Leroy was there and he laughed or smirked or smiled
Correct.
in
He
response,
smirked
right?
and,
Yeah.
tipped his head off the side.
So, and you thought, this is just a joke these two are having, right?
The way it was said and the fact that I knew he had another girlfriend
Yeah.
made me uneasy.
Well, okay, you did nothing about it in the time, right?
I told my wife.
Okay, you told your wife, and she said, I didn't hear him say that, right?
Correct. And then I told her again that night.
Yeah. So she was standing next to you.
No.
Wait, listen. She was standing with you, and you asked her, did you hear that? And she said no, right?
No, that's not how it went.
Okay, let me ask you another question, all right? So this statement that now you attribute to Judy Church, you first came forward with this and told law enforcement about this in September 26, 2024,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Years after the statement was supposedly made, right? There's no recording of this statement, right? There's
I'm aware
nothing written in this statement, right?
Excuse me?
There was nothing written down in this about this statement, no text messages,
There was text messages, me
okay?
and my family.
Okay, between you and your family.
Yes.
Okay. And were those turned over to the prosecutor?
No.
Okay. So you knew back, well, and it's over 2 years since the time, or just about 2 years since the time that Leroy passed away before you came forward with this statement, right?
Correct.
So this is your first cousin Leroy, right?
Yes, it is.
You spent a lot of time together as children, right?
True.
Playing together, right?
True. Yes.
Family parties,
Yep.
holidays.
Not so much holidays, but yes.
Okay. You knew him for 50 years and you loved him.
As a relative, yes.
You cared about him.
Yes.
You didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
No.
Okay. And then when he died in November of 2022, did you go to his funeral?
Yes, I did.
And did you go to his wake?
Yes, I did.
And did you express condolences to Tammy Carbone?
Yes, I did.
And did you express condolences to his son Leroy?
Yes.
And express condolences to Michael Hawkins?
I'm not familiar with Michael Hawkins.
You don't know Michael Hawkins as well. You remember seeing somebody, you ever get introduced to him?
I don't recall.
Okay. And Tammy is also your first cousin, right?
Correct.
And so you become aware at that time that Leroy died, and he died of maybe antifreeze poisoning, right?
Correct.
That becomes a known and accepted thing in the family at that time, right?
Yes.
And not long after that, in fact, Judy gets charged as having committed this poisoning, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, and you were aware that the family had been meeting with police officers, right?
I knew from the newspaper that they'd met.
Yeah.
So I know.
And so November 11th, 12th, 13th, Mr. Fowler dies. You don't come forward to the police with this statement about Judy in November. December of 2022, you don't come forward with this statement to the police about Judy.
Nope.
Keep it to yourself.
Yes.
A secret.
No, I told my siblings and my
Okay.
mother.
All right.
My wife.
And January, we go to 2023. January, February, March, April, May, June, July,
Mr. Scully, I think we can all do the months. Go ahead.
yeah, all the way to November of 2023. You don't say anything to law enforcement.
Correct.
The anniversary, first anniversary of Leroy Fowler's passing, his death, November of 2023. There's an ongoing criminal case. Judy Church has been charged, right?
Yes.
It's in the media, right?
If you say so.
Well, is it?
I try not to follow the news or anything.
Okay. Did you know that this case was being covered by the media?
I knew about the case, yes.
Right. And you knew that this would be a difficult time, the 1-year anniversary for Leroy's son, Leroy, and for Tammy, right?
I never crossed my mind.
So November, the 1-year anniversary comes and goes, and you don't say anything to law enforcement.
No.
And then we get to 2024, and I won't count out all the months, but all those months go by, all the way to September 26, 2024, right? Or strike that, September 23rd, 2024, right?
If you say so, I don't know.
You walk into the police and give them a written statement. You remember that?
Yep.
Okay. And that's you coming forward now with this information that all those years ago you were in a bar with Judy and she said, if you cheat on me, I'll poison you, to Leroy.
Correct.
Okay. And when you came forward that day, what inspired you to come forward was the case was in the news again.
It was my sister make me feel very guilty about having knowledge and not saying
The
it.
defense had filed a motion to dismiss based on the
Objection, Judge.
bittering agent.
Objection,
Wait,
Judge.
just
Objection.
a moment. Just a moment. Come to sidebar, please.
May I rephrase that question, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Okay. At the time that you walked into the police station on September 23rd, 2024, to give them this information about this statement that you say Judy made a couple of years prior to that, this case was back in the news due to a number of pretrial proceedings and being covered. And you learned about the proceedings to a degree, right?
No.
No. All right. So you go in on the 23rd, right? And do you remember that to be the day?
Yeah, I don't know the date.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
Just gotta get my glasses.
All right. Does that refresh your memory about the date that you came in to give your statement to the police?
On September 23rd.
2024, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the statement about cheating, right? You knew Judy and you knew Leroy, right?
Yes.
And at that time, Leroy wasn't cheating on Judy. Leroy had an open, notorious relationship with Barbara.
I was not aware that Judy knew about it.
Oh, okay. Were you aware of who Barbara was?
I just knew that there was another girl and her name was Barbara.
Okay, all right, all right. So you're not aware that this was just an open triangle.
I am now.
You are now. You learned that during the case.
Yes.
Okay. So, in fact, at that time, Leroy's not even cheating on Judy. He's just having two relationships at one time, whether she likes it or not.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Now, you went to this bar called Uncle Eddie's, right?
Correct.
And you testified on direct examination that you had a good relationship with Leroy at that time, right?
Correct.
And you had a good relationship with Judy at that time.
Correct.
And that in the summer months, because you were all connected to Salisbury Beach, you would see them 1 or 2 times a month on average in various restaurants and bars, right?
Correct.
And they would be coming and going from those bars together.
Yes.
They lived at 108 Central Ave.
They lived on Central Ave. Yes.